Hi there. This time I will laminate the hull. I have pre-cut the glass panels. This is important as the time is limited when I start lamination. I fold away the pieces to uncover the wood surface, so that I can start with wetting out the surface. Here I use a thickened epoxy. This is to fill any small remaining voids after the sanding. Any voids could introduce air bubbles into the finished laminate. Thus, I use a rubber spatula to press the epoxy into the voids. Especially here around the keel strip, I have areas that need filling. When the voids are filled, I prepare more epoxy. I thicken it with small amounts of cut and cut. This is to wet out the wood, to work as a foundation for the cloth. The thickened epoxy stays in place better than unthickened does. Especially here on the vertical side. Having a wet underlying surface, I can place the cloth. Here I place a thick 300 gram per square meter thick cloth to make the bow really strong. It's a bit hard to shape, but it helps placing it under other cloth. I continue wetting out the cloth and add the most important strengthening cloth. This is the place where I will have most impacts onto the hull. I have to mix more epoxy. In total I will use about 1 kilo epoxy for this part of the hull. After a while the cloth has sucked up the epoxy, and I can press out any remaining air from the cloth. Having the extra strengthening panels in place, I add the 150 gram per square meter thin top cloth. And here you can see why it is a bad idea to do this as a one piece. I have problem flattening out the cloth. The piece is just too long to be easily adjusted. With the first hull, I added the cloth in short overlapping panels. That made it much easier to adjust the cloth to the hull shape. With some cuts into the cloth, I finally get it to conform. After 2 hours, I add the second layer of epoxy to fill the cloth. As the epoxy is still sticky, I get a chemical bond, encapsulating the cloth without creating runs. After another 2 hours, I add a third layer. And after about 8 hours, I add epoxy with filler. And this will be a surface that will be relatively easy to sand smooth. However, I'm not sure that I will be able to continue with that next time. A one-sided laminate is very sensitive to changes in humidity. Thus, I will need to focus on getting the inside laminated first. I also have other businesses to attend outside boat building. Thus, I might not follow my regular posting schedule this coming weeks. Most likely, I will be back in 2 weeks' time. Until then, why not look back at one of my earlier episodes?